Welcome back. It's been a good long time. I've been busy. We're better. I have news and I think it will be interesting for you. It's becoming slowly, quietly clear that over the past 2, 3, maybe 4 years, my wife's health and my health have significantly improved. And this leads to a question. Why? It certainly isn't, quote, normal for people to start to look younger around the age of, say, 75 and 80. And I can't say I'm objecting to it. Very glad, in fact. But it leads to the question, why? That's an interesting question, because, of course, it matters to us. Is it because what we're doing? Well, we're consistent. We eat very carefully. But that's not different. It's the same. What caused the change? We're beginning to think that the change is due to what we don't do. In particular, what we don't say. And this is a real change in the way we've been handling our healing work. We've stopped talking in detail about exactly what we're doing. And I'm beginning to believe that this is really due to trust. It's that simple. When we do a healing session, we use the strength test in a reliable form. In this case, I use a pendulum to decide if it's a good idea to have a session. If so, I'll sit down and define the correct frequencies. 1 digit at a time. Yeah, I know it's painfully slow, but boy, you should actually do it and see how slow it is. I've speeded up quite a bit from practice. The results have been very favorable. Apparently, one of the results is due to the fact that I absolutely refuse to discuss why I'm doing the session or what I intend to do with the session. If that's true, maybe it's based on a very difficult topic to bring up. Parasites. They're in my body. They're probably in yours. Over and over again. How can I ensure that the frequencies I use are going to work? First, be sure I got the right numbers. And second, be sure that the parasites themselves can't tell what's going on. Because the parasites can always change. They do it pretty quickly. Now, let's go back a bit. What do I do with these frequencies? First, I can eliminate toxins. If I find a nice high excited state which puts the toxin in a place where my body can release it, that allows me to take out toxins that apparently cannot be removed in any other way. It's pretty clear to me so far that this body started life as an adult, early, with asbestos-caused problems in the heart and the lungs, with major problems with the cardiovascular system for a whole lot of reasons, with diabetes. Sounds like a pretty bad recipe. Folks, they're gone. And they're not hidden. They were cured. That's important. The method they were cured with was frequencies. They are the key. I'm beginning to believe more and more that they are simply the right way. Now, what does this have to do with what I don't say? What I say really doesn't matter with toxins. The truth is they don't want to be in these bodies of ours at all, and they're delighted when we use their frequency correctly. There are also military weapons that target us, and to the best of my ability to figure it out, they are not able to change anything, so it doesn't matter whether we talk about that or not. Once we take care of them, we're in much better shape. What about viruses and bacteria? That is a disaster. They're right inside. If I start saying, well, I'm going to take care of that problem in my throat, or I'm going to take care of the arrhythmia in my heart, or I'm going to improve my memory, or any of these things, guess who is listening? And if they identify themselves as the target, all they have to do is change frequencies in time to escape from my work. And then the session will fail. This is not a joke. I've lived with it for many years by now. And what I've discovered is very simple. Do not know, do not think about, do not talk about, do not even discuss what I'm doing in this healing session. I also use 4 frequency generators to further confuse the enemy, and I'm not afraid to call it what it is. It is the enemy. And what I'm about doing here is confusing it so that it can't tell what I'm doing. Well, what about the numbers that I'm putting into the computer? If I know what they mean, well, interesting question. I think there's a good answer, too. Think about one of these numbers. It's usually something pretty close to 100 million. It's almost never that high. Let's say it might be somewhere around 95 million. And I put the numbers into the computer 1 digit at a time. So, let's say 95,095,834,625.18. How many digits is that? 2 plus 3 plus 3. That's 8 plus 2 more. That's 10 digits. How do I turn that number into a real frequency? Well, that's easy. I just multiply by 10, right? Or divide by 10. It's just... I don't think bacteria and viruses can multiply and divide by 10. Especially not 10 to the 6th power, or 10 to the 5th, or 10 to the 4th, wherever it is in that list. And apparently I am able to do this immediately without any real problems. Is it safe to assume that you can do it too? I guess. All I know is I can. I do it easily without thought. Obviously the thought is taking place, but it seems to be automatic by now. But the key is this. The bacteria can't do it. The viruses are even further locked out. And honestly, I doubt that the larger parasites can either, like tapeworms. If it's because it's probably taking place up here in the cortex, then, well, I don't think tapeworms have a cortex. Kind of stuck. That's interesting. Because it suggests we finally have the tool we need. It's utter, total secrecy to prevent the enemy from knowing what we're doing, so they can't tell in time to change their frequency that we are going after them. And it is only since I stopped talking that these methods have really started working. Folks, that's my message for today. I think it's important. Good luck to you. Be good to hear from you. Bye now.
Well, upload it and see. Well, quick, darling.